was last week on Conqueror of Avernus, as we're stepping through these last fun dungeon steps. You found yourselves tracking through a whole crap ton of traps, because, well, it wouldn't be any fun for Jade otherwise. He's got to disarm stuff, or the wizard to fix his way through things, until we got to this mechanical room that attempted to repair Flux's armor. I couldn't get her, though. I tried. I really did. It was going to be a good time. It was just going to be a spooky time. But the team won. And in the process, Flux upgraded her armor. We left off last game with the team taking an hour-long rest, where Flux acclimated to the suit of plate. However, now that you have fully connected out, one cool feature of it, and like I say, unfortunately I don't have the armor made yet, but most of its features are secondary combat style fun things like it's hermetically sealed, despite the fact that you've been stuck in there for an hour because you've been concentrating on it. I'm not counting that against the time because that wouldn't be fun. The suit, up to 1 hour every day, can completely seal itself up by completely closing off. As you've seen from the design of it, it is a complete seal-in when it does that. Gives you fresh air, no matter the situation you find yourself in. So essentially your character doesn't need any oxygen. It cannot be damaged by any gaseous attacks while it's like that. Any of those sort of features that you'd require breathing for damage, you're completely immune to while in this form. You can also go underwater, technically out in space, but I don't think we're going to be bumping into Minsk and Boo and their friends in this adventure, as awesome as they are. You're not going to be dealing with giant space hamsters today.
I'm leaving.
I'm very disappointed.
The other question I have for you, Jillian, is what is Flux's original base language? D&D gives you a bunch to start with, as you know, and it never actually asks you what's your character's language. But for a little bit of flair for your armor, what would be Flux's primary tongue?
She was raised by her mom, who was a dragonborn, so I'll say Draconic.
All right. Just because you're in a fancy, fun area. The magical shielding over your face you notice from the inside, you can see through it clear as can be. From the outside, looks like plate. It's almost like you have a tiny hut over your entire form, very lightweight, very malleable. But after you're done attuning, and before you start the process of, pulling back pieces of the armor so you can see clearly and all that again and not have it on you, you notice something interesting. The armor's faceplate in front of you seems to light up somewhat. I'm going to give the Iron Man hat tip, but not quite. Welcome to your video game view. You get a heads-up display. You see it pulses as it says map out of date. Load example map. All written in Draconic, basically in the top left.
Interesting. I will tell the group what I am seeing.
After a few moments, it loads up and it warns you that this is not an accurate map, but is a representation of the sort of area you presently find yourself in. As you'll note, this map doesn't match your present map, but I'm throwing it up in the pictures area. What it does, however, have is a glowing yellow dot on it, and you quickly are able to surmise as you look over that it matches your present location. And you can see the map has rebuilt itself to perfectly match the view you've already gone through, because as you notice with when you have your mini clicked on, all of the area that's been revealed by you and friends is still there. You can still see all those, and that's been corrected on the map.
Okay.
Because the city's been shuffled around, however, there's a whole bunch of notes in Draconic essentially popping up. It's almost information overload. After a few minutes, you're able to gather that it's essentially saying the city's been scrambled, which makes sense, it's in pieces. So none of the map that you have is accurate, but it's essentially the same size and area, and it's able to access the location of the major things. Makes note that Crystal 1 is showing as online, Crystal 2, Crystal 3 offline, and Crystal 4 unknown. It points to the bottom right, bottom left, and top left of the little map on the crosshair in your eyes that you can see. For where the crystals are. It also has a few other points of interest, but as you're quick to surmise, you actually have to call out what you're looking for it to be able to tell you. You've got Google Maps on this thing.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
You guys... Oh, sorry.
The advantage to this meta-knowledge info for you, you can backtrack your steps now very easily if Flux is with you, because she can see essentially what we see on Foundry for the map on our character's top right in her eye. This only functions inside of this city. When you leave, that sort of world mapping software is entirely gone. It's just a fun add-on, so you don't have to be like, we want to get back to, and if you're zoomed out and you can see the whole map, because my mouse is way away from where the rest of you are, we want to get back to this exact spot. We think there might have been something there. Flux could find the fastest route. Her armor will guide you, just to make things a little more straightforward.
That is good to know. Thank you.
You see its name is SEAR-Y.
S-E-R.
1 second. There you go.
Siri. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I had to do it. If I'm using Google Maps,
that.
it's going to be piloted by Siri just to be an ass to both companies. So this way you don't have to worry too badly about where I've been, where I'm going, but it'll also give you the advantage that you can be 20 feet straight out this way. There's a wall because we went through that area already. Your character can basically pinpoint the area without having to worry about using survival checks.
Gotcha. Alright, well, you guys want to go to the one that's unknown? Because I kind of do.
Crystal number 4, unknown, is the one in the top left corner.
That would be the one outside the barriers.
If you
corroded away, is my assumption.
And there's also the option you could always try to search for something generic. You expect something to be in here, a type of room or anything, the armor could point you lightly in which way it might be if it finds a suitable option that matches.
Just to experiment, I'll ask Siri to find a toilet.
This is like, hey Siri, and I'm saying this in funky voice because I don't want to trigger it on anybody listening. Hey Siri, could you point me towards the nearest latrine? And it starts calculating, and then points to the south. Southeasternly area. You see a ping pop up on your map.
Gotcha.
And I'm pinging the map, and I'm going to repeat ping if the players want to zoom out.
I'm zoomed out as far as I can zoom out, I think.
I'll pull your vision.
Sure.
I'll do it easy way. Over this way, it gives you an indication.
That's a terrible city if that's how far between bathrooms.
Hey.
Jeez.
In the defense of the city, it is presently broken and torn into a bajillion and 73 pieces floating inside of a demiplane, as opposed to being whole.
Well, does anybody else have any search criteria you'd like me to look up?
Substation, power station. What we call them again? Substations, right?
Crystal rooms, I think. At this point.
The 4 corners of the map, the top right,
Yeah.
bottom left, and top left.
Right.
You get the same sort of response with power station, substation, crystal station. I kind of wish Courtney was here. I'm sure she'd have some funny jokes that Bellamy would be saying to ask. This'd be a good one.
Hey Siri, tell me a joke.
What has 4 limbs and doesn't have any clue where it's going? You're lost.
Hey Siri, tell me a joke. Oh my gosh, where do pencils come from?
Oh god.
Pennsylvania.
Oh my god.
Not even good.
That's so bad.
I love it.
You're wrong, Jillian. That's genius.
Now the
Jeff
map.
told his friend I was named after my father. His friend said, but his name is John. Yes, Jeff said, but that was years before I was even born. What?
Oh god.
Sorry, could you repeat that one?
Jeff told his friend I was named after my father. His friend said, but his name is John. Yes, Jeff said, but he was named that years before I was even born.
Oh my.
Oh, I see. I get it. It took me way too long. Siri.
My word. That just... Oh, ouch. So the map I tossed up in your pictures handout, I use the generator, of course, whenever I'm making a map of this size to get myself a basis. I use that same thing with the same settings to produce a couple maps and grab one that was different. And that's where that comes from. It gives you an idea of what this dungeon looks like, but that map isn't remotely accurate to where you presently are. But the size of it, well, that's pretty much the layout and the size of the map. Any other generic...
We need to find out where to plug you in to update the map.
You're hoping this is like Super Metroid,
Okay.
hey?
Oh, I'm not asking for this, Alan. So please don't say it if it's not true. But I still have disadvantage with my stealth checks with this armor, right?
Oh yeah, it's standard standard plate. You suffer
Okay.
those downsides.
Yeah. The only reason why I thought of it is because the way you were describing it, like how light and stuff it was. I was like mithril almost, but that's totally fine. I just wanted to double check.
I have it written down somewhere the way I have a special ability on it worded, but essentially it works like another charge on your Indomitable ability. For specifically how it works, but we'll worry about that if you run out of those.
Okay. We just want to... Do you guys want me to look for something specific? Or do you just want to explore? Because I can look for, like, substation or crystal room, if you guys want me to.
I thought that just was sending us to the... we just highlight the corners of the map. We need to be there. Let's just start exploring. I think it'll update the map as we go on.
Yeah, exactly. Alan said as much.
Yep.
So we've not tried this door yet, have we?
Nope, but you can guarantee it's locked.
Okay.
To save you all the moment of checking through things.
Put guidance on our resident rogue for his lockpick check.
I take it since it's a door, I don't get my normal advantage.
No magical abilities add-on. Reminds you of days back when you were first learning how to thief, except, only because of the tools you have to use to do this. You get your proficiency and all that stuff, but any of your magical bonuses would be laid out due to the fact that when you pop a key in, it turns off the magic.
Yeah.
And it's like, so my roll's gonna be about 2 points lower than normal, okay?
No, it just means I don't get advantage.
Yep. That key been doing some good carrying. With a 38, you most certainly undo the lock on the door, opening it up.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really hard for me to keep anything away from Jade. If he fails, he's gonna be like, DC's 40, I gotta work on this one. He just cracks some knuckles.
Yeah. Oh, after when we go for a break, I looked up the whole using a scroll as a rogue.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that hasn't popped up in a bit.
There's no definite answer.
Yep. I can't remember what we ruled on it. I was in favor of you being able to use it, but I put some restrictions on there. Like, it was a pretty rough concentration check, if I recall.
The only thing sage advice does was Jeremy Crawford once said that it has to be on your spell class list, does not count as a use requirement, so a thief can use it, but he makes them do a roll. But then that was the only thing ever said about it, and then I found a forum where someone goes through it, and there's a ton of rules as written stuff.
Yeah.
Also, we did determine that it is an ability check that adds your proficiency bonus to the roll. You're using make an ability check with your spellcasting modifier. Therefore, reliable talent works with it.
Dirty.
Yeah. And my proficiency is +6, and my spellcasting ability is +3, so that's automatic 19. So I can't fail the roll because
I
it's
remember
10.
because you didn't have all those extra add-ons at the lower levels.
Yeah,
Because if you
I
didn't
think
have
that's where we
reliable
were
tyrant
struggling.
Stuff, for you to cast the spell, the odds were really against you. But at level up now at level 20 with your multi-class and all your abilities, yeah, you can drop that. You're gonna be dangerous now.
It's just a matter of getting a hold of the scrolls.
The rogue casts wish via scroll. The DM bites his hat and he's like, So, you've got an unlocked door ahead of you.
I will open it.
All right.
Flux will take a shot in the dark and ask Siri, traps?
It says duck, and you're going to have to give me a dexterity save.
Oh boy.
Oh, actually, never mind. This, I'm used to these being a dex save. I actually have to do a roll for this one.
Oh, okay.
And your AC is a 22 right now.
Yep.
So as Flux opens the door, and you're saying, hey, here, the armor says duck, just for the goal laughing of it, as two scythes, undetectable to the naked eye, swing out from behind the doors themselves and sledgehammer into either of your arms. You're standing there just fine, however, as the strength of your armor seems to be almost impenetrable to these blades, as you shrug them off.
Okay, I take the shield out.
Get that extra +5 to the AC.
Yep. All right. So I got the trap for you guys. I'll try asking again. Trap?
You don't receive a response from it, unfortunately. The duck
had to
was the
try.
DM having a nice joke, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought so. I just had to try.
Oh, and I can't blame you in the least. Though when I should say, when you say trap, the whole dungeon just lights up for a second, just in one big pulse.
Like a big, flash of red across the whole screen.
Yep, and you see a notation stating that intruders detected, defense mechanisms active.
Intruders detected. I wonder if some kind of registry or a way of adding us to the city to not be intruders.
When we take it over, no, for the trap, did you said the blades came out? Did they go back in? Are we worried about them doing it again?
They've been partially disabled, partially broken by sledgehammering into Flux and not moving. They won't repeat.
Okay.
They're incapable of it.
Perfect. Thank you for breaking our way.
Though admittedly, as Nimbar walks by, the DM uses thematics to make it funny because he just walks underneath the scythe blade like, wow, that'd be okay. This one trap would not have hurt me apparently, but you know it would have.
Absolutely.
Certain things you might be immune to due to size or height or etc., but if I can hit you with a trap, I'm gonna hit you with a trap. But up ahead, as you can see, the hallways continue on with the clean, marbleized floor. Nothing before you that you can see, except more halls, more twisting turns.
Not Nimber, do your thing.
I will say the crystals that were pointed out that are receiving signal but inactive are in the bottom right and the bottom left, depending on which ways you want it to go. See, it's easy when you're blindly exploring. When I tell you what's on the map but hidden, you're like, ah, dang, which way now? You also know there's a bathroom down here.
So yeah. this is what we see, guys.
Is there any point sending someone who has good perception ahead, or just step carefully?
Well, yeah. Well, I think look, if we're looking for traps with the perception, then that is us stepping carefully. What we really need is a 10-foot pole and just to be slowly old school tapping along. But I can go ahead and give the corridor a quick scan. Go down to the junction.
So you go ahead, give me that perception check. If you want to go ahead, now here's the fun thing. You're thinking, if I had that 10-foot pole, you could go tapping with it, but yet that's not too hard of a thing for the team to produce. You grab a quarterstaff by the long end, same sort of effect, right? As you're going with it. So,
I think the area of the traps are so big that it doesn't.
I'm kind enough to give your stick tapping self advantage on your perception check, so long as you're tapping a stick.
Ooh.
I figure it's fair. Players go, I'll tap the button with the stick, and that'll trigger the trap. It won't hit me instead. And I'm like, I'm not a nice person. Pardon me. Oh, the dice don't like you. Because with the 27, how far down this hallway are you going?
I was going to say that I was going to go to the next junction. So, like, here.
It might be creeping your character out as you stand there, and Flux creeps behind. She's looking over your shoulder as you go. You make it this far, and only the tapping of your wooden stick on the ground is the only thing to be heard. You don't sense any traps. Further ahead, you can see the road splitting in two more paths as it heads in that direction, though yours continues southwardly, with a single bend to the east.
Any thoughts on where to go, guys? For some reason, my gut's pulling me to the left, but I have there's absolutely no reason for it.
Alright, well, let's... Nimbar! Or not Nimbar. So this...
As not Nimbar twists and turns its way around, it looks down the hallway, looks towards Nimbar, shakes its head, too terrified to move further. Because the DM absolutely hates that. No, I'm only kidding. You go ahead.
Okay. I was like, what? Terrified? That's like...
There's so many times something will come up and I'll be like, and I do the thing, and you're like, I send not Nimbar, and I'm like, let me read the rules, 1 second. And looking down, you can also see the path continues to split 2 more times to the south. A single path turning to the right, to the north, and this way.
What do y'all think?
Like I said, for some reason, I want to go left, but it's just.
So let's go left.
I have no way to.
You don't need to justify it. We'll just go left this time.
Okay, right. Tapping like Daredevil.
Alrighty.
Keep it.
Tapping like you're blind?
Yeah, the blind leading the blind, some might say.
Don't worry, you don't have to make any perception checks until you decide if you're going north or if you're going southward in this area.
Well, when we get here...
Finish it off.
Well, let's just have a quick number kind of pop up.
Popping up, he sees the road continuing to twist and turn as it draws ever nearer to the last room that you were in. And I can say that because of Flux's armor. Oh my god, did I just turn Flux into Doom Guy?
I mean, she was already most of the way there.
Right?
I don't get the reference, I'm sorry.
Do you know the Doom series of video games where the main character is on Mars and they get shot into hell fighting a whole bunch of hell monsters?
I mean, I've heard of the Doom series, but I don't know anything about it, really.
Doom Guy's the main character, silent protagonist, big butt kicker, has a heads-up display with a map on it and just destroys everything in its path. So you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like
Sounds about right.
the devils and stuff have like prophecies about him because they're actively scared of the protagonist.
Yeah. It's like Master Chief's Halo times 10.
Yeah, I think he's now known as the Doomslayer.
Oh my word. Doomslayer. Alright, we have a nickname for Flux.
And if the music is the same, a kick-ass theme song as well.
Strong heavy metal riff.
Yeah.
Belt out something on the electric guitar. I'll do a duet with Dan. We'll just rock it out and we'll make Flux's theme song. Though, as mentioned, the path continues to twist and turn. And as a reminder, the walls do prevent the telepathy, which do limit Not Nimbar's abilities to a degree. But I mean...
Yeah. I know you keep doing that to us.
Yeah, I mostly do it to block telepathy, not so much to block Not Nimbar. You know?
Sure. That's what they all say.
Well, if I didn't do it, I'm pretty sure you'd all be like, right now, with your hands up, like, Rhea, where are you? And Zerial, where are you? And Judicator, no thank you. Rhea, where are you? And a few other things. It makes it a little more challenging in general. Because, yeah, there was that one other dungeon I did it, and I was like, no, I finally checkmated you a little bit with this. Just a little. It's on a leash now. But which way do you go now? Do you continue to go down the further path to the north that twists and turns?
I have not got any gut feelings this time.
Jade, any thoughts?
No thoughts, head empty.
What a mood.
Same. Jillian?
Sounds like a great state of being.
Well,
I think
two-
we waited there, Jillian.
Oh, sorry. Did the map give us anything useful, or?
No, we really don't.
Yeah, I
As
didn't
of
think
right
so.
now, waiting to twist and turn. And I've done the one thing they do in like all the 90s show. You have a thing, but you have to actually know the word to use it.
Up. Should we go up?
Was it? Where were the two active crystals?
Bottom left and
Bottom.
bottom right.
Then Jade's suggestion is to go down, south.
Yeah. That's fine with me. Actually, I was
Alright.
thinking south. Actually, I'm not going first. Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
All right.
All right, Mr. Scout.
Tippy tappy.
So you go ahead, give me a perception check as you make your way around this corner to
Sorry.
the south.
I didn't mean to enter you, Dean.
Well, that. Straight roll.
Yep, do with your perception check and with advantage.
Right, yeah, that's what I was asking. I didn't know how far the tippy tapping would get me.
All right.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
A nat 20 to get a total of 39. As Alec is walking, he stops at this point in the hallway, which will let you see down to the first alcove to the east.
so I
As he
stop here.
As he, for a moment, channels his inner grade school teacher, flips around and slams his stick against the far wall to the west, nodding his head, saying, "I'm certain of it. There's something hidden in the wall here." You found a secret little alcove, which you can open, if you wanted to.
We got it, right, guys? We got to open the.
Of course.
Okay.
No checks,
oh.
no nothing. It's, at this point, it's literally click a button and go, and Sadness Chan seems to be mad at you. Maybe it's a bad sign.
I opened the door. What was it? A flame. Fire and death.
You're hit by fireball. I'm resistant.
A Balrog of Morgoth.
Oh god. You
Is
open the pen?
alcove?
Yep.
As you do, and it flips open, you see a beautifully carved symbol on the wall. An archaic symbol simply representing each one of the fields of magic. However, dead middle of this is probably the absolute biggest diamond Jade's ever seen. It'd make the Hope diamond look like a 0.3 carat tiny thing. This thing's the size of Nimbar's head. And his beard, too.
So it's like the size of Nimbar, okay.
Pretty much.
Did you say the symbol didn't mean anything?
Looking at them, they appear to be for the most part ornamental, just a pretty design for each one of the schools of magic, and as they move around the center, it's has that giant gem adorning. But this is, like a 7-foot tall carved into the wall tapestry style of thing, just right behind a singular panel.
Is it, number, is that you detecting any magic? Or wait,
Yeah, I tapped the stick.
Tap, tap.
I've been tapping the stick, but...
right, okay, I couldn't remember what one of our wizards or their various simulacra had the detect magic stick.
Yeah, currently it's the actual Nimbar.
And with a tap, tap, you can confirm that it's non-magical by design. But given the build and the way this place is designed, that only eliminates one of your options. Doesn't necessarily make anything safe now, does it?
Well, diamonds in an alcove seem like the Jade's wheelhouse, so I'll give him guidance. And
Now, before this, Jade is going to have to give me a perception check roll. You go ahead on this one, Dan. You throw that one up for me just as Jade looks at that diamond and his brain starts doing the math. With 28 on your perception, you know that diamond's worth at least 50 million. You might be able to get at $250 million for it. One of a kind, something that rare, something that valuable. Multiple tens, 20s, hundreds of millions of gold, easily. It may be worth more than the entire fortune you're presently lugging around on those bags on your hips. You'd be retired, your children would be retired, and those other children that you had would be retired too. You know the ones. Jade has a good time.
Wow, 19 years old and has multiple sets of kids.
Hey, I'm making him cool. Or not. I'm joking, of course, by that, but it's not rich, but wealthy at that point. The sort of money you'd have. The difference between being rich, with rich, you're set for life. With wealth, you, your children, and their children are set for life. From one singular diamond. Easy enough to set all of you up for a very long time.
it's a nice rock.
It's a pretty rock.
It's a very nice rock, worth lots of money. But the symbols floating around it is bothersome.
Let's be honest, it's probably a trap.
Well, it's absolutely a trap.
Or it's a magic device of the city itself, where you can put one of those symbols into the diamond and cause a magical effect to occur.
That's a good point.
Well, so it's like a break glass in case of emergency diamond.
Because if they had it hidden somewhere, it has to have a specific use.
I mean, if you all wanted to roll any checks, you could throw some ideas my way.
Okay. So it's on a. So it's just on a pedestal. Is there any? What's the best way to describe it? Like any kind of construction or so like there's anything like connected to the pedestal, like might.
Oh, it's
channel
like
something or let
tapestry
something-
across the back wall, about 7 foot in size.
Right.
Carved
Is there
right
any
in.
patterns that stand out and maybe look like some kind of power line to the?
Nothing standing out from what you can tell.
Okay. Is it is the I don't know if this matters. So some of the spells we have use gems as spell components. Are they ever cut in a particular way that allows them to hold magic better, or is it just like you just have like a rough rock that's worth the?
Yes to both. Sometimes you need a specific thing to cast the spell, but usually if you just have the raw ingredients. That being said, this diamond has been cut beautifully.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if it has like any magical properties that like detect magic wouldn't be able to tell?
Yep. With a 36 on your Arcana check, scanning over it and looking at the runes, the one thing you immediately notice is that it intersects where all points of magic intersect. This might have some odd effect, but you don't know to what degree. You could always go hands-on. You know. Investigation is very much a physically investigate the object sort of skill. If anyone's got the guts to actually lean forward and grab it. If we were actually sitting at a table, every one of you would be staring at me like, no. Or to quote the new Minion movie, no, haha.
Except for the one crazy member of the team that's considering it.
I mean, John, you could go for it. Nimbar doesn't need the other hand. You could use the new knuckles on that one too.
How many
The one time I got you.
How many schools of magic are there?
9, I believe. I'd have to honestly double check. I know them, I just don't know how many.
Yeah, I think it's 9.
8, my bad. Conjuration, necromancy, evocation, abjuration, transmutation, divination, enchantment, and illusion.
Could also say 10 with dermatology, the 2 new ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at me. I travel through time with my magic.
Oh, Dynamancy and...
It's called
Yeah,
chronology or something like that. Outside of out of
Yeah.
What are those fallen angels called again? The Iron Eyes or Irenyes or whatever the hell. The same thing. I don't know. Irenyes. Yes, that's it. Irenyes. Same thing. Tarask? Why does D&D do this to me? I have a hard enough time looking these things up. I'm a caper. I'm not used to the fancy words. But I love them nonetheless.
Should we try casting like a spell on the diamond to see if it like holds the power or something? Like maybe we need to like
Yes. Revivify, diamond disappears. You're like, well, that was a waste.
like maybe it's like some kind of battery. Like maybe it can, if we charge it up.
Yeah.
Like we could like just start with like a cantrip. I don't know if we'd have enough cantrips to trigger every skill.
I have illusion, enchantment, necromancy, transmutation, conjuration, evocation.
I've got evocation and transmutation and divination with guidance.
I don't have divination.
But
And while
the
they're
thing
planning, is Jade
divination-
investigating?
Shit. Is that I need to touch it?
For evocation, I would need to touch it. The others, I actually don't.
I can evocate from a distance.
Okay.
When you say it like that.
Yeah, but we'll have to react to this first.
Oh. Jade leads in with a casual investigation, bringing hands and fingers up to start poking at the edges. And you're like, well, I can do this magic, I can do that magic. And Jade looks over at a point and says, can any of you help with this problem? Because as you go hands-on with it, unfortunately, Now, the picture of the diamond I threw up is fairly accurate. Pointy side in the wall, flat side out. And your hand went straight through the front of the flat side like water, and is now stuck at the wrist. Jade's sure he was on to something. He almost figured something out because he knows that this wouldn't have happened otherwise. But the investigation check he did was not high enough. So Dan, you got to decide, left hand or right hand, which one's stuck in there up to the wrist?
It has to be my right hand because I'm wielding a shield.
There we go. Just looking at Nimbar like, I hope this doesn't go bad.
Well, I know a quick way to get him out.
I'd like to place my hand on his shoulder and cast Dimension Door. Say here.
Is that a good idea?
Jade needs to do a dex save. Because if you can
Oh,
shrug out of
no.
Nimbar's grasp as he's starting to Dimension Door you.
It's a willing creature.
Yep.
So if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to at all.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can just say no.
That's the thing. Is Dan, is Jade willing to go with the start of the spell being cast? Like, okay, yeah, we'll try this to get out of here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
He shrugs the wizard off like, no.
Secondly, with the description John gave, even if I was willing, he's too small to dimension door me.
Oh,
True.
can't reach the shoulder.
Yeah.
He'd be like hopping up trying to pat. Flux, give me a boost.
I always forget to enlarge first. I don't know why I can't remember that.
Oh.
But that's fine.
No, I think that would have negative effects.
Fair. I wasn't thinking.
But since
I mean, now that your hand's trapped, are you able to investigate further?
I was thinking the same thing.
You could always try another investigation check, but since one of your hands is down, and especially since the other one has a shield, but even if you remove it, you have disadvantage on the check as you're doing it one-handed. And it's not your dominant hand, because the shield hand is never your dominant hand. But we're ambidextrous in D&D 5th edition, so that doesn't really matter. I'm just splitting hairs here to make it a little harder.
Well, I can give you guidance. That's about all I can boost you with. I think I could wheel you as well, but
Oh, it's probably going to be pretty close to the same results. Okay, so with guidance.
Yep.
With an 18, however, you're able to discover that by pushing on specific symbols in order, you're able to temporarily liquefy the front opening of the crystal. Being able to place an object inside or outside, and you quickly remove your hand when you do this, that it can be used to preserve something inside of the diamond permanently.
We saw a person and a crystal, or like a body in a crystal in the gardens, did we not?
Not in the Wasn't that in the other...
Maze?
In the school?
Yep.
The school?
The
Yeah.
school garden maze thingy, not the ice garden, but the other one. The original founder was placed inside of a similar design. This one, however, is considerably more robust and elegant in its magical construction, in that it's eternal. There would never be a need to ever worry about this. Unless you pull the diamond out, then it would lose all of its abilities. It's a permanent form of transmutation on the diamond that's simply unlocked by touching it. It's almost like looking at a magical creature stuck in the wall, but it is not sentient.
So, like, what kind of object could you fit in there? Like, his hand went in, but presumably not his entire body.
It's an object the size of Nimbar's skull and his beard, slightly. So, anything smaller than that.
Huh. So, I just don't know what they would...
Now, for limitations of the actual game system, only one object can be stored in it at any given time, and it has to fit those constraints. Or, you can break it free from the wall and have yourself a diamond worth possibly 250 million. The DM is going to note that it's clearly a synthetic diamond created by magic, but it would be impossible otherwise to tell this from a standard diamond. They are exactly identical. But the only way to make something this large was in fact magic. At least you'd assume. It's doubtful they went to the dwarves and said, hey, can you find a super diamond for this hole in the wall? And I say the dwarves because traditionally they mine. I could be wrong though. Could have been an elven who struck it rich one day.
Yeah, I'm just trying to just try to figure out what the what they would keep in here.
The power orbs?
Like a fully charged one?
Yeah.
Anything inside of there suspends. So if you put one fully powered in there, it would be forever in there with full power. Frozen for that brief moment, mind you, so useful when you take it out, but that is one good use for them. Not that you have any use for the power orb anymore. That was just to get you onto that elevator to here.
Yeah.
But that's sort of linking in the technology. Yep, totally.
Huh. Well, I don't think we're going to store anything in it, so I guess it's just a question if our resident rogue wants to take it or not.
I mean, we also still need to get his hand out.
No,
Oh, he
got
already
it.
did that.
Oh, he did get that out. My apologies. I missed that.
Yep. He figured out how to unlock the mechanism. Though magical by nature, it doesn't give off any radiance, and is essentially a mechanical construct now. The natural evolution of a door is a way to teleport, so to speak, or a way to move the matter out of your way. And that's essentially what you're seeing here.
I look at my imp and say that you would fit in there.
He sort of crouches down, rubbing his jaw, and nods his head like, yeah, boss, I bet I could fit in there. I'd be pretty safe, too. It's hard to break a diamond.
Yeah. I'm not going to put you in. I was just saying, maybe if we keep an eye out for these alcohols,
However,
we might find...
Since you're on that train of thought, give me a knowledge history check.
Oh boy.
Can I make one?
Yep, your character can as well, too. But only because of fourth knowledge that you already possess that no one else really does.
Oof.
You both have advantage on the roll. By the way, I should have mentioned that to begin with, for a simple reason of where the knowledge comes from.
I don't think it's going to help Alec much. Oh!
You're both 22, both of you passed. So, both of you are there rubbing your chins like, I'm sure something, what? Alec gives a snap of his fingers, and maybe Nimbar at the exact same moment would both say, Lulu could fit in there. The little fluff could squeeze inside, because you can squeeze into a space slightly smaller than your size. And she was already small, so...
Right. Okay. And she's currently...
Meanwhile, Flux and Jade might be like, you can't just squeeze Lulu in. Well, I suppose that's not nice.
Right. But she's part of the magical energies flowing around this place just now.
Yep.
Fox is definitely like trying to be casual and cool, but at the mention of Lulu, she's tearing up. She's like, yeah, maybe Lulu can fit in there. That'd be pretty cool.
And if we remove the diamond, it loses all its ability to store or preserve life. So,
But if something's already in there, you just lose the ability to get it in or out easily. After that, it would take a lot of magical work. But Nimbar, give me an Arcana check on that one.
so I'm thinking that if we keep an eye out for these and let's not pull them out, then if we
Oh.
bring back Lulu and something's still not right, we have a chance to preserve her.
With a 35 on the Arcana, Nimbar is fairly confident. He could reproduce the magical effects on the fly. 34 wouldn't have done it though. You be happy you have advantage on that dice roll to give you that +1 flip and boost from a 16 to a 17. But Nimbar is fairly confident. He would know how he'd be able to reproduce the effect and liquidize a diamond for a moment. One designed just like this.
Alright. Well,
Now, it's up to Nimbar if he shares that info, mind you, but...
I of course would.
Alright, well, I gotta take it then, so we can... If you can do it, then...
He'd be able to release something inside. To put something in it, you'd need a setup like this pre-made with it installed.
Alright.
But he can
so,
undo the magic once it's placed. That's a lot easier than replicating the entire thing.
right, okay, I get you. Alright, so we keep this here, and we keep an eye out for other diamond stations.
John, I'd reward you a point of inspiration for the dice being on your side today, but everyone's got inspiration, so I give you a hearty pat on the back.
Which means more to a gnome, because they feel it.
Oh,
Size difference.
oh my word.
Alright, this is good. I'll keep an eye out for alcoves as well.
So what for the crystal stuck in the wall?
I think we should keep it there. Like, I don't think we should remove them until we've... I imagine there's more than one of these dotted around the place, but I don't think we should remove them until we know that we can't use them anymore. At least that's my take on it. But I'm sure there's more, so I wouldn't fight anyone if they wanted to take it just now.
Oh no, I'm not. I have no interest in taking it at the moment.
Flux.
Can you ask Siri to pin this location on the map?
I was literally just about to say that.
Hey, great minds and all that. Hey.
I put a little blue circle there on the map in drawing mode, so we all know where that one was.
Sweet.
Because you say, hey, so could you mark this location on my GPS? And it's just radio silence. It's like, damn it, this armor sucks.
Can Siri tell us what this is? Like, if she's... Is it like when you like click a bit on Google Maps, it comes up with a little stub from Wikipedia article?
Unfortunately, not for this little hidden gem here. Doesn't have any extra info. You might get info when you walk into rooms, sure. But for anything hidden in a wall with such incredible style and design, nope.
Okay. Alright. Well, okay. Nice little tidbit of lore there. Let's if we go off of Dan's thinking, I guess we should head down because we want to go
Yep.
to
Mhm.
the corners. So I'll do the tappy tap.
Yeah, not Nimber, can you quickly tell us that this goes this way again?
Yeah.
The path continues to twist and turn as you make your way through. Heading towards the south, my usual assumption is not Nimbar leads, but not Nimbar can't really trigger traps, so I'll let you know if you see a monster before you see a monster floating around. But for the most part, the floors are entirely clean and quiet. We'll also taking break a little later today since we were a little slow to get started. Having ourselves a good time.
I'll keep I'm particularly aware of the longer stretches of corridor. It's
Yep.
usually where the traps are, so I'll just let me know if you want me to stop.
Especially when he stops to describe it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, up ahead,
So,
you see a junction in the road. One to the left and one to the right at the end of the next hallway. Fortunately, the halls you walk through don't seem to have any issues, though, as you make your way along. The left and the right paths both turning towards the north, leaving you with a decision on which direction to travel.
So we're heading the southwest corner. Like, I mean, the twists and turns so much it could be either way.
Why don't we take the right way?
Which way is the right way?
Yeah, the
I
right
know
way.
which way is the right way, but I don't know which one is correct. Oh.
Sure, let's.
And I'll pull you forward, Jillian, to save you a
Thank
minute.
you. I was just starting to scooch down and then...
Decision made for us. I will give the walls and such a examine along here, see if there's any.
So you go ahead. Give me that perception check. As Notnimbar turns and sees a very long hall to the north, to the westerly way, but on this eastwardly north route. You give me that roll. 33 on your perception check as you come to realize as you walk along, dragging fingers across the wall, as maybe you're saying to your friends, you know, if you always keep a hand on the left wall, no matter what, you can always find your way through one of these mazy places because you won't be able to repeat your, oh, I found a secret door up here. On the top right wall is a secret door.
Alright.
And secret doors, in mine, are never locked.
I'll press like the button to open it or whatever
The stone
is.
slides to the side for you, and you can see a small 10x10 pathway, slightly dusty from a lack of use, and another edge of a wall leading to a different area. You can tell that's definitely secret in its design, but you can clearly see that it's a door from this side.
Okay. Before I step into this little mini chamber, I just want to give the floor a quick once over and see if there's any like pressure plates or
Perception check. With advantage
Just-
because you got your stick.
it seems like it's just such a nice little box to like trap someone in and do something with.
You will have got Dan behind you with his key and all of his magical gears and abilities. Like, I can't get advantage on my checks with a key to unlock a door, but he gets advantage with a goddamn stick. And the DM gives a nod and says there's a lot of traps. But not in this next room from what you can tell with your perception.
Okay. Well, here goes.
That being said, any of you can do the tap with the stick for advantage on those perception checks for checking for generic traps. As for the next door, you opening it up?
Yeah.
You reveal another hallway, this one going very far east and south as well as it twists and turns before you.
So we found a shortcut. Well, not necessarily a shortcut, but like a staff shortcut. That's the best thing I can think to call it. Oh, yeah, and like a maze or something. The staff know how to get places.
It's like Disneyland, the hidden underground tunnels. You watch, next week I come back and like, guys, I have to apologize for saying that. I received a cease and desist from Disney.
They've got a huge underground network. Don't they also have like one of the largest navies in the world, technically? Just like sheer number of watercrafts they have.
Oh my god, probably they would. If you counted the Queen's swans, though, I don't think it would. But we can't do that. Because I think there's some rule she owns them all. Or the ones in her pond or something.
Something like that. All swans belong to the Queen. If they do, I should fucking watch what they're doing and clean up after them. Some of them leave a right mess.
Oh my word. It's one of those cute laws that I like. I'm like, that's actually a nice one. You're not causing it harm in modern day with that. But as Not Nimbar moves its way around, the path snakes in front of it, twisting and turning as he goes. Well, I should say it.
Down again or right? I mean, they both go down eventually.
I feel like this probably, like the down probably like goes like the ba. I don't know why, but that's my assumption.
It does feel like it would do that. I get where you're coming from. There's so many twists and turns here though that it's hard to say for definite. But if we want to use that assumption to go this way, that's fine with me. So I'll come along here.
Well, I just proved myself wrong.
The path twists to the south, at least as far north as you, or as far easterly as you can see from where you presently are.
Down and round again.
Meanwhile, the team is basically like, forget this whole black chunk up here in the middle. We don't like it.
Listen, the fact that there's blank spots in the map is causing me undue stress. But I know that we have both an in-game time limit and a real life time limit. Because,
yes.
The Dungeon of the Mad Mage took us like 3 months to do one level.
That one was a little more brutal, as it's a true dungeon designed with all that stuff. This is a special level 20 encounter dungeon, so I get to have me some fun.
Yeah, I just
shoot.
mean like.
Oh, I thought she was gonna go through the wall.
And just in terms of like exploration time, it
Oh yeah.
it takes up way longer than you would think.
Well, you gotta get a level's worth of stuff in, right? So that's the thing. So this windy,
Right.
twisty, turny path continues.
Okay.
And, as the group of you are walking through this hallway, where would you all be on the map?
Oh boy, there it is.
And then Alec can go ahead and give me a perception check, because I know you're taking the lead.
Okay.
Alright. With the 32, Alec realizes the crack directly in front of him, one of the panels underneath it, would trigger a trap. You're not sure who, what, where, when, why, or how, but you know it's a trapped step that you can now avoid.
Okay. Cool.
Meanwhile, Flux saying, armor ping this, for God's sakes, put a GPS tag down. I'll mark the map with them. I've done it thus far as well for other areas that were trapped, that have traps that are continuous, but directly under Alec I'll mark this one, knowing where it is you can avoid the one pressure plate that'll trigger whatever that trap would have been.
Alrighty. Awesome.
Just to confirm, he did not set it off, right?
Nope.
Okay.
You could take the other extra step and go so far as to disable this trap, but that's going to be more up Jade's alleyway. And I will say, Dan, if you're relying on any of those magical tools for advantage on disabling traps and stuff, that'll still function. You still get that. It's just doors are your enemy now. They've been reinforced to try to defend against Jade, but when you pull 35s on the damn roll still, odds are...
I'm happy for Jade to disable it after we clear out of his way. I'll peer down this corridor while he makes that.
Of course, as mentioned, it's nothing for the team to simply walk around it.
Disabling all the devices will be time consuming eventually, so if we're under time constraints, it might be a better idea just to avoid it for now.
Because apparently on the 20th, bad things happen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll step round it.
And as you make your way, the path continues to snake in front of you. Kamashag, the guy on your shoulder, giving you a nod, like, you know, boss, these areas haven't been too bad. I'd do like that mine myself and scout for you, but I'd probably go poof by now. Those grinders, woohoo!
Yeah, the little impish mincemeat.
Imp meat does not taste good, I can tell you.
I sounds like a story there. I don't know if I want to hear it though. When have you eaten imp?
Just gives a slow nod. It's like, that one time I got, like, totally fricasseed burnt. Few pieces, not very good. I don't know if that technically makes me a cannibal. It kind of confuses me. I think about it sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, but then I remember I'm a familiar, I don't need sleep, and I have myself a party.
I mean, can you really be a cannibal if you have no, like, base mutable form? Like, you're a spirit.
Just kind of pauses, thinks for a second, gives a nod and says, so if I eat a soul... Looks over at Jake, you got any of them soul coins left? Then just starts laughing. But so far through this twisty-turny path that makes its way back to the north now, you're not finding anything really out of the ordinary or catching your attention yet. As mentioned, you're always more than welcome to do perception checks as you go through areas, because as of right now, you are relying on dumb luck, so to speak. You've gone past where your perception checks would be carrying you. You could very well trigger a trap like this and be using responses. And Jillian, as mentioned, I just bring you up on the map to save your life. Or to make your life a little easier. Save your life.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm gonna save Jillian. I moved her mini forward. I did a good deal. I saved her. My God, I need more coffee. With a 31 on your perception check, you find nothing of interest in this area. I'll let you know when you'd need another one for your perception check, tapping along with your stick. And the manifest mind, I assume, to lead. You know, to make life easier on all of you so you don't have to play the minigame. This also means you can just keep throwing your minis forward as much as you'd like as you explore the area.
I'm pretty much like going from corner to corner, and at each corner stopping, looking, and then like...
And every step you go continues to further update the map for Jillian's character Flux.
Tell them that.
Twisting and turning back to the north, you find yourselves, I almost said parallel to another path you previously discovered, but I forgot you only discovered this area due to lag.
Yeah, we glitched through that.
So I'm gonna say it shows up on Jillian's heads-up display. Your character has that for Flux. You'll notice it's like, oh, there's a pathway over there too. For some reason it's slightly on the map. Apparently something about it lining up with the previous design. Or something.
Should I roll another perceptions check right about now?
Oh, not yet. You're still good for a little bit yet. Twisting back up towards the north, you can see the westerly path going north and south. And once you make it to that intersection, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Yep.
I'm treating your perceptions like stealth, essentially, to make life easier. Otherwise, you'd take a turn a corner, you'd roll perception. You turn a corner, you roll perception. And this would become a painfully long process. Alrighty. As you make it to this area...
Right, I'll move my mini up.
Since your character is the first one to cross over, you give a shout to the rest of the team to stop dead in their tracks, as you come to realize you've triggered something. But you're not sure what, as you see a path to the north that turns to the right and a dead end to the south.
So we've triggered it.
Yep, and you've warned the rest of the team
okay.
not to pass this square, not to enter the area where you are. Not Nimbar has no trouble whatsoever. It's floating around your character and you're probably like, oh, that's not fair. But a trap's been triggered and your character knows if they move, it's going to get set off.
Okay.
You could do an investigation check to try to figure out what's going on. Any other character who attempts an investigation check, however, would do so at advantage as you're leaning over trying to get a peek of what's going on and inspecting by hand. But if you want to try to figure out what's gone on, it's just your unnaturally high perception with a bloody 38. Look at that, that's so pretty. Plus 19 on perception. Druid senses tingling as you realize something's out of the ordinary and something's not quite right.
Okay. Whoever's going to investigate, can I give them guidance? Or, sorry, you said that I can do an investigation. You said someone else can do it as well.
But they have disadvantage on the check.
They have a disadvantage. Okay.
And that's
I've
just for
got-
investigation. There's, approach this problem as you would any other one.
So I've only got +2 investigation, so I feel like even at disadvantage, Nimbar or Jade will get a better result. So that's why I would give them guidance for that.
Yeah, I'm not trained in investigation, so
I'll do it then.
Yep.
All right. So, Dan, give us one at disadvantage.
With guidance, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The DM saying, oh, yeah, I'll allow it. And then, of course, the druid saying, of course you get disadvantage at guidance. With a 20, as you're examining, you almost miss it, but just at the last second, you notice at either corner of this hallway, the two areas pointing in have two very small holes in them that are blowing air between the two of them, a very small funnel of it. By disrupting that, it has triggered this trap. And should Alec move any further, it's going to launch something from the ceiling, but you're not sure what.
Launch something.
okay. Well, why don't I just dimension door us to the back of the hall and not worry about it?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
If you
Right.
if you guys want to just kind of
Don't forget to enlarge yourself.
fair. Did you two want to back off, or do we think it's safe for them there?
Wouldn't hurt to have them further back. I think we'll just assume that Flux is moving back, and
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I will cast a large on myself. So I'm your size. Grab your shoulder and dimension door us to here and here.
Alrighty. You leaving your manifest mind there?
Sorry. No, would have floated back.
Alright. As you jump back, teleporting back and the rest of the party watches, you see from the ceiling, you hear the sound of what almost like smoke going off, as a net the size of the entire hallway falls from the ceiling, launching itself to the ground at exceptional velocity and striking, the edges of which all have pitons in it to drive it into the ground, as an electrical current flows over it, no different than Flux's own breathe weapon. It passes after a few moments, damn near a minute in fact.
jeez.
That would have been shocking to find unexpectedly.
And that's not the only thing it would have done to you either, which is why I was asking about the manifest mind. You wouldn't want feedback if that's a thing I could do, but I'm not going to say what it would have done. It's completely legit, I promise. Or would have been.
So, yeah, I think I'll go back up to this corner and use a stick to see if disrupting the air triggers the trap again.
At this point, it's been launched, and the trap is done. The net remains on the floor, mind you, but to signify this, if it'll let me, there we go, I'm going to change the color on this one. Instead of being my DM red for danger, I'm going to put it for blue for no longer a danger.
Okay, cool. Was it like a metal net, or is
Yep.
it?
It is treated as difficult terrain. Not that that really matters, but if you got into a fight in this hallway,
Reduce mage hand.
I
just
think
float your way over the net.
Yeah.
My magic ring. Yeah, my magic ring.
Oh, you're still attuned to the magic ring?
Yeah, I've got the ring of free action.
Hard to give that one up.
Dragon.
It really is.
I just couldn't remember what you gave up because, like,
the bracers. I like the double cantrip is good, but
Right.
just magically paralyzed and restrained is so
Yeah,
hard
no.
to break out of. It's
Absolutely.
You guys don't suppose it's worth looking into this wall, do you?
I can give it a look if you want. Are you thinking there might be a?
There could be something.
I don't know, but it might be worth checking just before we move on. It's unlikely, I think.
Due to the positioning to the other walls, and I'll give this one for Jade's inspection check, he can confirm the majority of this area back here actually contains the mechanics for triggering that trap to save you from doing the rolls. Tip a hat to you though,
Right.
Jillian. Good catch. Because I was honestly originally debating putting a secret door here instead.
Right.
But decided it was going to be a trap instead. Be helpful, or I could try and kill yous. So, I got there's a dead end.
Why not?
Oh, why not? We'll see. Dead end to the east and to the north. ...
I'll
door.
A door?
You see a doorway to the north. And as you all approach this doorway, Jillian, your heads-up display for Flux kicks in. As you see, it gives a note. As you're looking at this door, you can see words overlaid on top of it, floating on top of it, as if they were magical, but this is an effect created by your helm being on. As it says, Smithy. You also see a little design of a key with an X mark and then 1 on it. Takes you a moment to figure this one out entirely based off the symbols, but you surmise that the armor has the ability to unlock 1 door as a freebie. No traps, no nothing in this dungeon. An emergency override.
That's really cool. I'm not going to use it here, but I will explain everything else to everyone.
That's
The
handy.
DM gives a note that it may not work on every single door. So these
Gotcha.
doors, sure, you see a super wide, 6-foot wide adamantine door covered in runes and magical markings and blah 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 blah. No. You can't cheese through that part of the dungeon. But practically, 99.9% of the doors, you get 1 free open. No traps, no nothing. Because the suit has an override since this is its city. Or, you've also got a Jade. And he's damn good at what he does.
Yeah, we've already got our override. Yeah, I'll still tell them everything.
But apparently it's a smithy up ahead. And before we get to working on said smithy, I think now's a good time for us to take a quick 15-minute break.
Sure.
Grab a snack, grab a drink, grab those sort of things, use the washroom, So I'll go ahead here, and I'll give the music a pause. And because I'm no longer a dummy, I'll also pause the recording, because I had to go through all of our other videos and crop out the breaks for the last 3, and I got them up. I just haven't put the info. But I didn't know there was a pause button.
I also just realized that I was not hearing music the whole entire time.
Same.
Oh my.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I had the scrapyard sound in the background running. I will worry about it when we get back. It might just be the volume's turned low.
Well, that or I just need to refresh. It's probably a combination.
We'll get a refresh when we get back, all that sort of stuff. I'll make sure everything's good to go, and I'll reload the audio.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
for now,
sounds good.
I'll give a pause, and I'll see y'all in 15.
Okay. Bye.
Then picking up where we left off, there's a door in front of you. Nice and pretty and locked, of course. There's a Jade in front of you. Nice and pretty with the tool unlocking skills, of course. And nothing seems to be amiss beyond that.
I was going to ask if I could just have a quick look at the this dead end, see if there's like another connecting room or something like that, like the shortcut we found.
By all means, you can give a perception check.
Oh. No.
You roll a 1 and you get a 20. The sort of stuff that would make a level 1 player cry. Tapping on the wall and giving a nudge, you say, there's nothing here.
Wow. That's an especially harsh line that is, Jan. You're talking about John choosing violence today? Fucking hell.
Jeez, they insulted both of your characters in one go. 10 points, sadness, Chan. That's rough.
Alec comes back to the door looking visibly shaken, but he can't tell why. Alright. Now we're going to look into the smithy. I'll guide our rogue.
I'm gonna check for traps first.
All right, you roll me that perception check for traps. $25. You don't think there's any traps?
All right, let's try and unlock.
All right. You go ahead, give that a roll. No bonuses from the advantage, of course. Just straight unlocking.
Give him another. There we go. Jeebus.
Rolls a 17, plus 3, 20 on the roll. 43 total. Jade walks up to the door, looks back at the party, says, "It's locked," as he gives a nod and walks away, unlocking the door at the same time. Like just, "It's locked," as he leaves.
Oh, man. Should yeah, you know what? Let's give Flex a break. I'll open the door.
All right.
I mean, with my shield up, my armor class is 27. Like, I really don't mind.
Well, if you insist.
I'll do it.
Technically, you can still swing that Torm's longsword as a +2 in the worst. I think it's +2 in the worst case. And as you make your way into this next room, I'm gonna ignite the fire because I forgot to put a light on it. Silly me. You do indeed see a lightly lit forge. The sort you wish you'd have your hands on if you were to do the work again. And with an eternally burning fire of obvious magical descent, which can be immediately confirmed by our resident wizard. However, this one's a little step above anything you'd normally be used to. As you walk in, go ahead and toss me a perception check. Everyone's more than welcome.
Is anybody else, like, very suspicious of this thing right here?
Oh, I'm suspicious of all of those golems and statue-looking things.
I'm suspicious of everything.
Apparently Nimbar isn't, though, with a 13. He's like, this is a nice place.
This is the only roll I've done this game, and I rolled a 14 because I forgot to hit VTT.
Oof.
It's a 14.
Admittedly,
Should be able to
it's
see it in the game log.
bit of a lot of checking around and being careful on this one. Haven't triggered any traps that have required you to muscle your way through yet. Because believe me, I'ma crush you with a wall yet. I'ma crush you. Because if I don't, it's not a good dungeon. You have to have crushing walls at one point, right? That's my firm belief anyway. But regardless, 28 and 29 on perception checks for Jade and Alec. As you look through, you're able to notice something peculiar about these constructs along the wall. What appear to be mostly statuette in design. From one corner to the other as they make their way in, you can tell by the look of them, they appear to be prototype models for the core original form of the Juggernaut you had previously fought. The one in the top right corner looking very, very similar, but not quite. Outside of that, this is probably one of the best places you could ever find for working on smithy. There's every tool you could imagine in the area, 2 benches made of mahogany, a gigantic magical book filled with information. Yeah, I had to do that. A cooling pit that has water constantly flowing even now, and a broom in the corner to keep it all clear. There's coal here as well, which every few moments you see a shovel magically lifting, tossing into the ever-burning pit.
How much coal was there to begin with? Is
You
there
notice
still that
after
much
it
pile?
scoops up. Well, actually, you know what? How long are you staying outside the room? Because it is indeed making the pile go smaller.
I think I pictured us doing those checks as we stepped in, but I think Alec would have taken at least one step in so far.
As Alec is the first to walk in, because I always give those checks from the doorway, you'd notice to your right a pile of books on a shelf, untouched by time. Glancing across their spines, you can see that there are lots and lots of information on there about constructing using mechanics, and also enchanting, and also building and crafting, and etc. What's more important, anyone with the smithy background or tinkering background would essentially find the almighty Wikipedia of your trade. Every piece of information to ever craft any magical device that's within the range of not being legendary or artifact can be found there, including information on legendary and artifact, but making those are a completely different hassle. With the equipment in this room and the tools at the disposal in here, you could essentially craft anything from the DMG that's a magical item of +3 or lower and not artifact grade. However, you also know that's not something that takes a day or two. But if ever there was a smithy to lay your hands on, it's this one. And with those books on your side, you could craft any weapon.
Oh, I have a bag of holding, so I'm gonna take some books.
Flux starts dumping in all the ones that have to do with blacksmithy. She's like, oh yeah. Acquiring some of the tools and materials might be a little tricky. Then as for the book on the pedestal, at a glance it appears to be generic information on runes and incantations, an encyclopedia, as it were, of enchantments that would be required on a blade or helm or etc. to link the basics of magic, to give it those powerful properties. It's Smithing for Dummies 101, essentially. I miss those books. And as mentioned, water continues to flow from here. And now that you've been glancing around this room for probably about 10 minutes, you'll notice the bucket of water at the end of the anvil here lifts itself up and pours across the top of the forge gently, the water evaporating into the air, before scooping water from here and floating back to its perch beside the anvil. And at that same time, a small portal seems to open over the coal, answering John's question as it literally rains more down upon the area. You've seen similar magical effects. It's usually used with food to feed creatures, and it's usually done with raw, rotten meat, because that's something that can easily be created like that. For a fully functioning forge that can continually refills itself, however, again, a testament to the magical mastery of the maniacal madman who crafted this cunning contraption. See that? I used alliteration like 4 times.
What does this device do? What was it connected to?
You're not sure. 2 chains that go into the ground with 2 cranks on either side.
Flux, does your Siri know what that is?
I will ask.
Blacksmith. Blacksmith, a place for forging tools, equipments, and weapons. Warning, fire hazard.
Repeat what she said.
And that's just mostly the DM having fun.
Yeah.
Outside of the name of a room, she doesn't really provide much further information.
Okay. Is this up here, is that a broom leaning against the wall or a switch? Or like a lever?
Looks like a broom.
Okay.
Does it act like a room?
I was gonna automate it, but I'm pushing my luck with Disney, and I really don't want them coming after me. Like, no, that's Mickey Mouse's trick. Don't you dare.
I'm going to start turning this winch to see if anything happens. Unless, I'm going to turn it once, see if I can hear any mechanisms.
It only turns in one direction, and because I'm kind, I say you turn it the wrong way first to discover that. You know, with all failures comes knowledge.
Yeah.
Perfect example. It spins very easily, and you can hear chains turning and cogwheels spinning. And you notice the ceiling, a gap, opens up in it about 10 foot by 5 foot. Nothing too large, lowering slightly as you've made that first action. And I'm going to highlight on the map. Oopsie, wrong one. I'm going to highlight on the map where that would be. Do you continue to turn the chain?
I'll look at the party. Do you want me to stop?
Honestly, I trust your risk assessment, whatever you pick.
I haven't thought about doing this at all. I want to keep going just to see what it is. It could be Murderbot 5000, but hey ho.
Lowering it down. You don't find Wonderbot 5000, thankfully.
I said Murderbot.
Oh, Murderbot. Wonderbot 5000 would have been good to find compared to Murderbot 5000. Jeez. Okay, note to self. If Dean is ever the DM, I must play powerful character or get murdered. Got it.
For the record, I also heard Murderbot.
Guys,
oh my word.
Doesn't matter what I play if I'm the DM, because my dice rolls are terrible.
Halfway through the session, Dean just holds up the screen. It's my 5th 20. See, I swear, I'm not trying to kill yous. Like, no, the dice are. They're saving up the karma, just like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy warned us. I think it was that. You just throw yourself at the ground and miss. I think I'm probably wrong in my assessment, but well. As you continue to twist and let that drop down, you come to notice that it's another table, this one of solid metal. It has a few pieces on it for the clockwork automatons you've seen, but it's mostly unmade. However, you notice it's very, very cold, with a soft bit of frost coming off of it.
If I let go of the winch, does it try to retract automatically, or does it stay put?
Nope, if letting go, it stays put.
Okay. And it looks like pieces of automaton. Are they? I don't know. I'm not a blacksmith. Is it some kind of freaky, like magical tempering thing? Fire and ice, that kind of stuff.
Just cold, giving off frost into the air. You can inspect it, walk over to it, and get hands-on, take it apart, and see what's going on.
I'll go over and give it a look. I think,
As it hovers just high enough above the ground to be a table once you've retracted the chain out all the way. The components seem to be a leg, a chest piece, a partial head, and an arm for some other constructs that you don't recognize off the get-go. Probably prototypes on the work. Give me a perception check as you're looking over these components. And while Alec is doing that, anyone else doing anything else in the room? Because that's taken a few minutes anyway. Oh geez, look
I'm
him
probably
running.
just looking through books.
Dean, my rolls are crap. Rolls a 19.
Alec is the only one who has good roll. I will say that.
Jillian.
My DM rolls are bad.
Oh my god.
Yes?
You're gonna go ahead and want to give me a perception check as you're reading through those books.
Okay. I think I hit VTT, but I'm gonna hit it one more time just in case. Gotcha.
Let's see how good Flux's eyes are as she flips through. With a 19, as you flip through these books and read, Flux has a momentary where she snaps her fingers with an amazing thought. By applying this magic with this feature here onto this rune, I can undo and hold a magical effect temporarily, examine it, change it with that book over. You know, that sort of geeky moment you might be having as you find out something really exciting. Not only could you forge magical items here, you could improve magical items here. You could rise their plus bonus up.
Interesting. I will tell the group that.
You already have non-magical weapons. With this room's aid, with the tools, components, and all that at your disposal here. You'd have to make a new forge somewhere else, essentially, with these books that you're scoffing off with, don't get me wrong. You can totally reproduce this, but with everything you have here being so perfect, you'd be able to give a weapon a +1 enchantment. Any non-magical weapon, you can give it a +1 in 2 hours per item. Going up any higher than that, the time increases drastically, and increasing items from 2 to 3, for example, that'd be a long rest.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure right now, Dan, jumped on his book and he's flipping through holy crap, hold on, oh my god. Some items may
Siri,
be excluded.
jot this down.
Siri responds, blacksmith, a place where you can upgrade weapons. Ooh, pardon me. So, while Flux figures out the mastery of how to blacksmith like the greatest of them, anyone else doing anything? Dan, you got anything fun planned for Jade?
Well, not really, because this is not his cup of tea.
That's a blacksmithy area.
What did you say was on this book?
The book itself has most of the runes, the magical incantations, and etc. for the process of enchanting weapons to give them magical power. It's essentially a dictionary. It explains how each one works and how they apply. By using the direct information from that and the information Flux is flipping through per enchantment, you can very easily enchant gear and weapons. It's the key to the lock. You could still do it without it, but it would take more time, because you'd be looking things up constantly, looking for info. This is your shortcut manual.
Fair.
Alrighty. While all this is going down then, I would need an investigation check on the mechanical construct. Or I'd need a perception check on the mechanical construct that Alec is looking over on the cold table.
On top of the one I...
Oh, was that
made
38?
already?
Was when it came down and I had you looking? It was, wasn't it? Good, yes, okay. And I
Yep.
paused the game for you at that moment. My apologies. Yes,
No worries.
with a 38, because holy fudge, you roll a 19 on a plus 19 to get a 38, you could almost get a 40 with that. You can determine that the chest seems to actually be responsible for this cold. You could do an investigation to try to figure out why, or you could just tear it apart.
I will shout over to Jade to see if he wants to help, because I know he's more mechanically minded than me, and I'll guide him if he wants to do it. It's just I'll break it. I'll mess it up.
Alrighty, Dan. You want to throw down an investigation check as Jade pops on the doctor's gloves for a minute and says, "Let me examine." With a 29, you can see exactly how this works, where there seems to be some form of a central power core to it in its abdomen. You can very easily get your hands in there and pop it out. Wouldn't have to do a check for that, but Jade can totally do it.
Okay.
You doing it?
Yep.
Alright. As Jade pulls a Mr. Bean, you remember that scene where he goes, 1 second, and sticks the thumb in to get the piece out of the person in that one where he was a doctor? Because wow, out of all the random Mr. Bean sketches, you basically get, Jade pulls that one off with his incredible skill, like, you watch this. Reaches in and grabs the container in the center, fairly spherical in design, and pulls it out. As you do, give me a strength save.
No, buddy. I'm not. I was going to give it a wheel, but I don't think. I mean, I can. Best I can do if it rolls well is make that an 11. Do you want it?
No.
Okay.
Jay's like, nope, this is how, or Dan's like, nope, this is how it went down. Because, I got a nice pretty picture for what he's holding in his hand. Something like that, thanks to a good Google image search. I have no idea what that's from, but it's some glowy orb photo thingy, and it sort of matches. Because as he pops it out, he goes, check this out, and it rips itself free of his hand. You notice the body laying on the table seems to lose a little bit of its glow and its luster as this orb flies through the air towards the northeastern corner of the room. Unless someone has a fancy-dancy reaction, it's going to sledgehammer directly into the prototype of the Juggernaut.
Let's see. My reactions are to swear.
Try a little on the inside.
No, we knew what we were doing. We knew that we were poking around and stuff, something that was going to go wrong. We've only ourselves to blame.
When things go wrong are my favorite moments. Actually, one of my personal favorites was the game we played with Jillian, and I'm like, my dude's gonna sneak and hide in here, and she goes, you're face to face with a troll, and I'm like, well, he doesn't need to use the bathroom anymore. That was the best. Bumped into a troll, and I'm like, oh, that's so well placed. I'm screwed. This is great. I loved it. Same sort of thing here, but I'm giving that quick moment as it's being frozen. If anybody wants to try anything on that orb flying through the air, if you might have a reaction that could be used or something of the sort, same as when that fight popped up for Jade, I let it hover before I said what happened, because just in case.
The best I could do with as a reaction would be to try and smack it out of the air, but I don't think that's gonna cut it really.
It ain't a creature. And I'm sure Dan's probably just happy he didn't lose a hand, because he already did one check today where he thought he might have.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's happening.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Well,
all my reactions are only help me. I don't have any that might help someone else.
well then, let's go ahead. Jillian, you're gonna have some rolling to do with those big 4 attacks now. Oh my god. As I've got it all set up, so if you all want to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay. I don't suppose anyone remembers what the time was when we entered this dungeon.
Nope.
I'd have to YouTube that one. I do. I'll pop those vids up, I swear. But I'd have to
Because
YouTube that.
The only reason I'm asking is that my alacrity spell lasts for 8 hours. Has it been?
I think you finished an 8-hour rest at 8 in the morning, setting your time clock back to normal, and it's been that long since. I think. I'd have to double check.
Yeah. I think I cast it around 8, so it's 12. That's so that's past. The spell's finished.
Whew. High-level spell tracking. As everyone rolls in their initiative rolls, including Kumshad, is even like, me too! I will go first, my friends, and run away!
That's good though, because it means you can go hide in the corner. But you know what? He's immune to fire. He might go hide in the forge.
Now I have to double check here. All right. Oops. So. There we go. Just so we know Jade seconds turns before Flux, because Fulminoxus got strength. Jade, well, I'm assuming Jade has more dex than her. I may put, 22, because I was going to say. He has
I rolled a natural one, so I'm gonna be useful for a little while.
The worst is I was rolling for his second turn. And the best is where this thing lands on the initiative order. You go ahead. Kamashag's up first because this big bad robot also rolled a 1. As it slowly starts to wake up, blue lights lighting up. As the Kintyre Juggernaut prototype, a serial code, pain in my butt, wakes up.
I'm gonna... you know what? I think he's immune to fire, so I think it's funny if he can't fly, can he? We still can't fly here, so he's gonna... Let's get 20 feet of movement, so that's 5, 10... But he's gonna hide in the forge. No one will look for me here.
Literally jumps off your shoulder and dive bombs into the coals. Pops his head up, gives the thumbs up, he goes, "Don't worry, boss. I could use some smoking time." Ha ha, gone.
Okay. And
then he says something.
do you want me to roll a stealth for him, or is it just fine to leave him there?
Oh, I'll leave him there. And he complains as he goes in about saying that he missed the perfect joke about a smoke break. Damn it, no! You know. Make him a little more realistic, he flubbed it. Alex, turn up first as you see the prototype Juggernaut beginning to awaken.
This is very unusual. I'm not used to first.
I've also made it so if you hover, you'll see their funky name.
Wow. 17D. Is we supposed to see the stuff in brackets?
Yeah, that's its prototype code number.
Okay.
You know, like serial number. It's like, this thing's not even important enough to get a real name.
You know what? I think because I've got the space to do it, I think I'm going to do my big blasty spell. So I will do Ice Storm. Wow. So that's create some difficult terrain for it as well, so it might slow it down and get into us, hopefully.
It has failed on its dex savings throw for the does it hit damage right now?
Yep, it's instantaneous, so
okay.
See, I'm never sure how this spell works, right? Well, it says the storm's area of effect is difficult terrain till the end of my next turn. But it's weird because it's like instantaneous, but it creates a lasting effect. That's just strange to me. But yeah, so it's takes the full damage, all 20 damage.
The initial blast, and then after that it's slow.
Yeah.
It failed though, so yeah.
Yeah, so I could just center the radius on it, so I guess that's... I don't want to create too much of a problem for everyone, so like 20 feet is much bigger than I thought it would be in this room. So about to like here, I guess. It's all ice stormy and haily. Give us a sec to prepare.
Alright. Anything else for Alex's turn?
I guess, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about my bonus actions. I didn't say I was in my starry form this session, so I'll just activate my starry form. That'll be my bonus action. Take on the form of the archer, and I'll move up to here, and that'll be me.
You know what? I haven't been giving it enough credit that it's due. That wonderful form. I have an awesome picture for it. Starry form. Yeah, man. And someone put this beautiful star background behind him. Love it. As you release the starry power inside.
I'm gonna hide in the corner. And
Wizard runs backwards. That thing hits hard.
yeah.
Gets the PTSD flashback dog image for a minute, right?
They've kind of been targeting me. I'm going to realize.
Shouldn't come
Let's
as any
not-
surprise.
Let's not get close to it.
Given the power of the mage who built this place, it's very obvious they know the worst thing they'd have to face is another mage. Or at least, in their biased opinion. They think, feels like the world almost favors those arseholes.
Let's,
Not like it does. Right, Wizard?
I'm just going to try to disintegrate it.
Alrighty, you fire that shot. And that was me making my usual joke about wizards loving wizards. You fire that disintegration ray at it as it makes a dexterity-based savings throw. Being strong as they are, they do have advantage on these, and holy wow, I rolled like a god. I got a nat 20. You know what that means, Sean.
It still failed?
Yep, you go ahead, roll your damage. But this one seems to move a little slower than the version you're used to dealing with as you hit it for a whopping 89 points of damage. It's looking badly injured now as pieces of it seem to be crumbling off, shambling forward as it does. Anything else for your turn?
No.
And Jade, who gets 2 turns in a row this time thanks to the lovely way initiative works. This is gonna hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, I can't help but wonder if Kamashag had landed beside him if you would have got the sneak attack bonus thingy.
The way you've said in the past is that if you want that to work, then the familiars become a viable
Definitely.
target.
But you
It's
can-
not so big an issue now that I can summon them for free.
Exactly. And Kamashag's looking right at the DM like, you said you wouldn't tell them about this. You wouldn't remind them. And I'm like,
But I like to kind of keep them. Well, that doesn't work too well either. I was gonna say I like to keep them on hand as like an emergency defib, but
oh god.
without the fly speed, like, he can't really. He's not really fast enough to like scoot in and.
He like hobbled himself
Oh.
along, got 20 feet, 40 with the dash.
Yeah, I'll think on that one. I feel a little bad making him sacrificial though.
Most familiars would have some issue with it, but at this point, Kamashag is no stranger to danger or being killed by it repeatedly, or crushed in a tiny box, or blown up, or disenchanted, or just outright destroyed with magical effects. There's been a few fun times. I've almost hit him with a baseball bat. Almost. Someone's gonna do it one of these days with a club. Just poof, gone.
Whee! Home run.
Kamashag's blasting off again. Ding, sparkle, sparkle. Alright, so, Dan.
Yeah, I was just looking up if I do the whole this rogue's ability of I reduce my speed to 0 and get advantage on attacks.
Ooh, you're gonna try for a ranged attack on him?
I just don't. I can't remember if that was something I had to pick as an alternate to one of my other abilities, or
Oh.
if that's something I get.
That's just an extra from Tasha's. It doesn't place any.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is, like, you can't move when you use the aim function.
The rogue does the most dangerous thing in the world at that singular moment. He decides to aim.
Yeah, aim and have fun.
You also have 2 turns in a row, so I mean...
Yep, I'm going to use the Tasha's ruling for the alternate to reduce my speed to 0 to give me advantage on the attack, so I get sneak attack. I'm going to blow a charge on my sword and attack with moonlight at range.
Alright, you go ahead and make use of that. As Jade ignites his mystical, powerful longsword of light and darkness doom, moonlight erupting into a blade as he throws it with a spin. Because yeah, that thing can be thrown. A 25 is a hit as you break through the mighty armor class of the Juggernaut prototype. You go ahead and throw me up this damage with the sneak attack damage on that special beam cannon. So I think they changed the name of it recently, but I don't know. 30 points for the damage, radiant damage to the big bad. With those dice numbers for 29. Your blade slices hard through the armored hide, bringing the Juggernaut near death as it recoils backwards on one foot, glaring towards you as it still attempts to lurch forward. Anything else for your first turn?
No.
Alright. Your second turn?
Oh dear.
Your ice storm. Does the damage still occur if someone moves into that zone?
I don't think so. I think it's just the difficult terrain that lasts. I think the damage is instantaneous, but each creature in a cylinder.
I'm not giving Jade's thing enough credit. There we go. That's basically what he gets to do. 3 times a day, but still. For these exact moment came in so handy as you decimate the poor thing's health and we start your second turn. Flex is like reaching for her sword like, wait, I want to chop something.
I'm just going to display the text again. I don't imagine that the damage would trigger.
The duration's instantaneous. That only hits the one time when it hits. As an effect, it turns the area into difficult terrain. So the area is difficult terrain until the end of your next turn. But he doesn't get hit by the damage over and over.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just like to be double sure.
Is it my turn now?
Waiting on Jade's second turn. He's
Oh,
planning.
we were. Okay.
Oh, he's charging in now. That second turn is so fun. And he's gonna take an abracadabra with moonlight straight on. 26 is a hit as you break through the prototype armor. Not as strong as you were expecting. You go ahead and roll your damage. 28 points of damage as you drive your blade into the chest of the Juggernaut as it looks near death. Flux's turn. Geez, that's just 30 feet. I just decided to look at like, how far is it just 30? And the poor thing's pinned in the corner.
You guys got it handled. Let me just put myself in a good position. Oh, no, I'll step up a little bit more then.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. Across the diagonal, you have exactly 30 feet to get there.
Well, what I was going to do is I was just going to do a lightning breath attack.
Ooh, alright, you let it unleash.
It's a DC 19 dexterity saving throw.
And where that's a natural ability, not magical, he does not have advantage on the roll. And I rolled like, oh crap. You go ahead and roll your damage. It hits head on.
Okay. 96. 5. Oof, that's terrible damage. That's 3 ones, folks.
Did I roll these dice?
Did you?
13 points of damage, however, as the juggernaut is so close to death, is enough to push it over as it roars. Its chest beginning to explode as it stumbles backward and grabs onto the core that flew into its own chest. As you see what appears to be frost covering it, and it gives off a very specific roar at that moment. Everyone is more than welcome to roll a knowledge history check. Flux has advantage.
Oh no, this would be less
no.
transformation roars. History?
History.
Flux getting that nat 20, pull a 19.
I'm real smart, you guys.
Anyone who did 15 or better would recognize the howl. You've heard it before, and for Flux, well, she's draconic, I give her advantage because it's fun. You've heard the roar of a white dragon before. However, this one triggers the white dragon-based style of awakening. The chromatic awakening, it's called, for theirs. But for this, it's still a metallic awakening, as you see its body begin to tear and stitch back together, repairing somewhat through forms of magic, not through regenerative clockwork. Still Flux's turn, however. That's only the action used for your breathe weapon.
Did we decide that that was just one out of my attacks?
I think they said a modification you were allowed to do that.
Yeah, Fizzbands, Dragonborns, it's you can replace one of your attacks with the breath weapon, and I think the breath weapon, you can do the breath weapon a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
But is it once per turn still?
I'm just opening up the page to check. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of your attacks with an exhalation, magical energy, dex save, failed save. It says you can replace one of your attacks, so
not any
probably,
number.
yeah. So once a turn, but I think at this level you've got 5 more left till you're done for the day.
For the breath weapon attacks?
Yeah.
I never switched Flex's race over, so it just says once per short rest now.
Oh yeah, it's the new stuff from Fizzbands. The important thing is that you can use it as one of your attacks, so you still have your other 3 banked.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with that, because do I want to leave my shield up? Kind of do. You guys have been handling it pretty well.
Well, it's just restored itself to full health now.
Gotcha. Okie dokie. I will drop my shield and pull out Cerdas's Rage and do what I do best.
Mix with cheese?
I'm gonna try to. It's not letting me. There it goes. I had to double click a thing. Yep.
The smoke
Alright.
from the breathe weapon clears. As Jade sees a flurry of blows following behind it at an ungodly level of speed. Go ahead and make your first roll.
Okay.
You like electricity themed stuff with Flux, right?
Yeah, it didn't seem to cause any problems. I've been using force damage lately with Cerdas's Rage, but...
Oh, I mean strictly character theme.
Yeah, character theme, yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna have me some fun in a minute as you start swinging. So you go ahead, give your first swing with Cerdas's Rage.
Okay. I can't can't find it. Just 1 second.
Oh, you'll
There
have
it
to do it
is.
in
I
Foundry.
found it.
Perfect.
I got it. No, I was looking at Foundry. It just wasn't where I was expecting it to be.
I started to say it, and then I realized, no, she knows that. And I was actually stopping myself. Oh! The sword's like, yes, gimme, as you swing a crit for your first hit. The second hit's also. If you want to roll your third, by all means.
Yeah, get them out of the way.
25 is also still a hit. As the smoke clears from your lightning-breathed weapon, you're already on top of the enemy. And it sounds like thunder you swing your sword so fast and cleave across its chest. Crackling of lightning could almost be said to be following at the speed that blade flashes. So smooth and so precise that not even Jade's keen sense could keep up with it. Such is the way of a fighter who can attack 4 times in a singular turn. Imagine if you use that action surge as you tear in with your damage. The first crit, 46, 36, and 28 for your 3.
I will actually take an action surge. I was thinking about doing that anyway.
110 points of damage so far. You go ahead.
I'm just gonna mark it down before I forget.
As Flux moves with the conviction and speed of one who nears demigod status. Because you're level 20. Demigods are level 21. Maybe you'll all make it there someday. Suddenly Dean's like, Alan, what are you planning? 28 is definitely a hit. You go ahead and roll your 3 attacks again. Oh, I thought that was going to be a 20. It hovered. And attack number 3. With unheard of speed and conviction, Flux continues to spin, and attack number 4 is a crit. Oh, look at that. As she swings her blade 7 times, flashing as quickly as the very lightning that struck the enemy, his back foot landing on the ground finally, after she had swung so many times. 32 points of damage for the first hit.
It was 4 hits, right?
Oh yeah, 4th one's a crit. 35 for the next one.
It's 2. 3. And then...
As Flux jumps into the air and roars, coming down with her blade. The rest of you all notice before that 51 damage lands the previous shot. As it landed, the entire Juggernaut prototype's eyes flickered out, losing that sight that they carried a moment prior. But it's not enough to stop the unbridled rage of a powerful warrior. From head to sternum, she splits it in half, cutting the mighty beast down. As the 51 damage is just carryover, and I don't have anything else for you to hit.
Good God. What it took 4 of us to do.
Flux stands up, brushes off one of her accent surges with a bit of a nod. You know, ain't no thing. The Juggernaut collapses to the ground, now a shambling shell of its former self, leaving this room and the locked door to the right and to the north available to you. Meanwhile, Jillian's giving herself a pat on the back for pulling 2 crits in 1 turn. Damn. Them some nice odds seen there. Good job. Going full Ginsu on him. And the worst of it too, if she didn't kill it, Jade would have had a sneak attack on his attack, and that's usually close to 100 points of damage when he lands total. And if that didn't do it, I got a wizard who will tag 100 points, and if that didn't do it, the druid would have screwed him up too. Oh my god. That poor Juggernaut. And his lower HP base, because you can tell now that the fight's concluded. This one did not have the sort of tenacity that you were used to. The sheer gutso for being able to tank many more hits. Didn't even seem half as tough, though just as strong as the others you faced. You're happy it didn't get off too many swings.
So, is that heart? Does the heart look like it's?
Flux
no
is
longer
holding
active?
both hands in one hand, or both halves in one hand.
Is it like an entirely mechanical object?
It actually appears to be mostly magical by its design, gems and stones inlaid inside of metal. You could do an Arcana check on it to try to figure it out.
I'll leave the Arcana check to there you go.
Nimbar just looks over his glasses from a distance as if he has them all any. Can confirm it's just a container for a soul. Most likely a white dragon's essence was in there. More importantly, with how high your check was, it didn't seem as though it was trapped. That seemed to be a willing container.
The dragon willingly put itself in this container. That kind of has me a little worried, guys.
Well, from what we know about dragons so far, do we not know that some of them have like echoes that aren't like that isn't an entire dragon or draconic being? Could it have been that?
Exceptionally powerful ones would. But if this was the spirit of an exceptionally powerful dragon, you'd also get the feeling the Juggernaut would have been a bit stronger.
Right.
Like a perfect example. Disintegrate. It would have had legendary actions for dealing with that. But this was a prototype.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we know we're dealing with like Sariador, or an incarnation or avatar of Sariador, who's like a god amongst dragons.
And even amongst the dragons, as you know, even amongst the gods of dragons, Sardior's considered mighty. He's stronger than any of the other ones combined. The gem dragons look up to him, and pretty much every other dragon would be wise to fear him. Though, most of what you've read up on him, he was mostly benevolent.
Yeah. Well, my thinking is that, you know, we've dealt with cults personally, like people doing things in service of a god and for reward. Is it that out of the realms to think that for their god, a dragon would willingly become a power source for a form of defense for their god's kingdom?
Alec might take a moment to remember the sheer volume of juggernauts that are ready to be constructed and launched underneath your feet.
Or, because a white dragon's a chromatic dragon, if the gem dragons have as much animosity for chromatics as the metallics do, maybe they're just recycling their enemies, repurposing them.
Last juggernaut you faced, a full running model, was metallic in its spirit. You know that now. Because I said it had an awakening, it was a bit strange and blah blah blah.
Right.
But seeing these core components, you know it would have housed the spirit of some metallic dragon. Whether or not that's a willing one, well, that's a different story. But what you can see from this mechanical construct, this was a willing white dragon.
Willing white dragon.
So, as you surmised, perhaps the dragon sided with Sardior.
Yeah. Just for a bit of a giggle, I'm going to pull out the soul coin I've still got in my person and just hold it side by side with this heart. Is there any similarities between the two?
As you were starting, your little guy on your shoulder looks at you and says, you know, boss, I was oh, I see you're doing stuff. Never mind, you're good. You can
just
give
want to see
an Arcana or a Perception check as you examine both. Anyone's more than welcome to as well if you're within area of it, but you can only pick one or the other. You can't pick one, then do the other.
My Arcana is 8 and my Perception's 19, so I think I gotta go.
You go
Nimbar's
with Perception, I'll do your Arcana.
Nimbar rushing over.
Oh yeah, I'll be thinking this out loud.
Okay, So this is actually kind of neat. So when I did the first Arcana, and then when I did the second one, it's actually counting apparently.
Yeah, the number of times you get 20s. All throughout the campaign so far, you've gotten 26 since I integrated in Sadness Chan.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because like earlier today, someone else got 25 too.
Aha! I didn't realize it was counting. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I didn't realize it counted either.
I get a kick out of it. The little things.
Yeah.
So wait, so how long have we been playing on Foundry? It's gotta be.
I want to say
what?
2 years.
Yeah.
We were quick
So
to
it-
switch to this from Roll20.
In 2 years,
No,
Well, I
it's
bought it
been longer than
released.
that.
but
You know what? Because we played for a long time before COVID happened, and COVID happened in March 2020. We were playing. I joined in like the summer of 2019, so it's like 3 years.
The question was, I think,
May
how long have we been
22nd.
on?
Of 2020.
Yeah.
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 Oh, like how
for
long have we
Foundry.
beaten?
Oh, wait.
Oh, on Foundry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Just on Foundry.
Missed
The
that part.
Actually, the campaign itself, I can get that in a heartbeat. 1 second here, D&D Beyond. Campaigns, where is it at here? I got a bookmark for this to make my life easier. Conqueror of Avernus. Started November 24th, 2018.
Wow.
We played on Roll20 for a little bit too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we switched over to
Yeah.
Foundry when it came out because we tried it one time and we were like, buy Roll20.
But what I was thinking is that so roughly if we're using a platform in over 2 years, playing at least usually once a week, we've rolled under 30 natural 20s, which seems
Damn. I did add
Low.
Sadness Chan a bit later in the run, but even still, damn.
yeah.
I kind of want to see Bellamy roll this and
75.
see how many she has.
Sitting
She
at,
reels a lot more than we do. It feels.
yeah, just already sitting at 40 and just well, that's just not fair.
My word.
But I just yeah, just strikes me as quite low for how long we've played.
Yeah.
My
No.
word.
The fact that we also both got 25 is kind of crazy.
I like it. Crits are great. I mean, Jillian just tagged 2 more onto her record for today, so you know.
Yeah, it was your
And then I
turn,
got a crit
Jillian.
on the history check too.
Yep. Oh God. Today's your day. Because according to those numbers, that's basically... I think I've been running Sadness Chan about a year. Oh, though I may have reset her once or twice when we switched maps or switched mod modes. Never know. She might not be
okay.
perfect to keep it, because that does seem low to me. I feel like everybody gets a crit about every session, at least every other session, but... I digress. So, with this room, if you do take any long rests or short rests here, you can do some modifications to your gear if you want to. But Manifest Destiny says the 20th is a bad day, so, you know.
Yeah, I think we should push on, probably.
Carry on, my wayward son.
I was just gonna say like a wayward son. North or east? Should
So-
we flip a coin?
Hey Dan, you pick. It's been a while since you picked a direction. I'll put him on the
I say
spot.
we open both doors and then have a look.
Smart.
Hey Dan, roll me perception checks for traps on both doors and then unlock both doors and open both doors. I mean, I'd ask someone else to do it, but they'd get hurt.
I'll be like, just behind his back, just tapping him with guidance. Just there you go, keep it up, champ.
Door to the east seems good for traps.
Wait, actually, I just noticed the time. I gotta get going.
Alrighty, John.
Yeah, feel free to finish
Well,
up here.
You know what? I'll save you the time because the doors are going to get unlocked. I'll tell you, to the north is a long hallway. To the east is a 10-foot square with another door. So there's a decent chance the party's probably going to be going to the east. I spoke fast for you, too, so you can jet and not worry, bud.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, bud.
Right. Oh,
So
speedy
that's...
exit.
And I just gave some spoilers on that. So long as Jade can pass the unlock check, the north door leads to a long hallway. The east door, once opened, because it's not trapped, I'll do that now, leads to a very small area, 5x5, with a door across from it. Dan, do you want to give me the rolls for the north door so we can get that one marked out for next week? 29, doesn't seem to be trapped. 38, it's not locked anymore. And as mentioned, to the north, you get a long hallway which bends towards the west near the end. And since John jetted, that's a good spot for us to end for the day. I mean, it's spot on for time anyway. You kicked the snot out of that juggernaut.
I was a little bit worried we were going to kill it too fast for Flux, but it turned out to be not a problem.
I thought that might be a concern a few people might have, but I'm like, it has a second health pool. Don't you worry, Nudge. You're going to need that choppity chop chop.
Yeah, in retrospect, you should have been suspicious at how quickly the first health pool dropped.
God damn it, though, Jillian. You did like 260 damage in one turn.
Jillian, you're doing hard one numbers.
Almost 300 because I forgot your first breath weapon to add into that too. Anyone ever say fighter no good, you just kick them in the nuts, okay? You get one free by that.
I'll join her in that. I think fighters are a great class and are severely underrated.
Once you get that fourth attack, if you get in close range on an enemy, the DM starts crying and they're like, I only gave it 80 HP, you monster!
Could you imagine if she had the rogue ability? Hey, I get a second turn this round.
That's what action surge is for.
Plus action surge on both. So it'd be what, like 16 attacks in one round?
18 if you count those stupid bonus actions. She can figure out a way to get one of those too, my god. Oh my word. I say this, but I absolutely love seeing the fighter in action. It's definitely an entertaining time to just see destruction.
I watched a video by Trient Monk, who gave a quick review of the new Vecna stat block. He's like, it's bad because an unoptimized level 20 party of 2 arcane archers can kill it.
Oh, that is
as long
bad.
as they have sharpshooter. And that's with no magical items, purely because the arcane archer makes all their arrows magic. They can just like be outside the Vecna's attack range to shoot them.
Yep, that's no good. Oh my word. Well, fun thoughts for next week. You can always think of enjoyable things to ask Siri to try to find inside the dungeon, of course. I mean, you ask the important question, where's the bathroom? It's like right over there.
Siri, where is the nearest kitchen?
Points to the same spot.
Oh, I hope this is I hope this is a division between the bathroom and the kitchen. Otherwise, how did this place pass the health and safety codes?
The second you mention health and safety, the armor just shuts down, says unavailable, please check back tomorrow after inspection. Kidding, of course. The armor's not even that remotely automated. It's just that viewfinder. I wanted to give you all, since it's a twisty turny dungeon, I wanted to give you a nice level 20 edge, but also make it a little trickier too.
I think it'll be really useful for when we've completed a loop. Like, I'm sure at some point one of these corridors is going to connect with the other, and then we can just ask, what's the shortest way to get here? And just get a little glowy map.
That'll work out pretty nice. Well, I think that's a good enough spot for us to cut for this week, as you've claimed through a few more rooms and gone a good chunk more further through the dungeon. It's starting to fill out nicely. You can get an idea of just how large it's going to be, but it's not too crazy, of course. There's a lot of twisty-turny tunnels like these. I got fair bits of traps in there to deal with everyone for everything. Like, here's a little spoiler for that net that dropped. It would also cast a level 9 disenchantment.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, with that...
Pretty much just poof Nimbar and the familiar, I think. Or not Nimbar, rather.
Right.
And if his simulacrum was under it or anything like that, you know. Floating bonuses and blessings and those things. Just eliminate all of them right away.
Right, so they wouldn't have destroyed their magic items, like, they would have started working after it.
Oh,
Got
no.
whoever out of there.
Could you imagine they give you all this new shit, and it's gone? I can't pull that crap yet. I'd have to have a really good reason for that. I can think of like 2, though, so you know. Don't piss me off.
Yeah.
said the mean DM. My god. It's like taking away character levels. It's just not nice. You don't do it. Unless, you know, that's part of the campaign. But that's not the part of this campaign. You conquered hell, man. You conquered hell. Well, more or less.
Yeah. Yep.
So me not being silly now. Any questions before we cut for the week and jump back next week?
Not a question, just a heads up that I think we said before, but we won't be available on the 24th.
No problemo. Were we talking about an in-person game the week after that or before that? I almost forgot about that. And I'm going to go ahead at this point and just give the recording a stop, so, you know, they don't need to hear my plans.